streaming on Twitch. So yeah, I saw the Demon Slayer movie today. It's a bit to unpack, but I'm gonna save that for after To Be Hero X. Because honestly, I'm probably more excited for this episode than I was for the Demon Slayer movie. I'm not. I know I saw like a screenshot of Nice, but I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen. You know. But it's without further ado, I don't want to stall. Just want to head straight into it. So let me just get this window capture open. It really ends here. My final thoughts is that I cannot believe it's actually here. Like I just want to say that it has been a journey, like watching To Be Hero X ever since I first saw it 2 years ago. It has truly been a journey. Uh, I remember when I first saw it and I was very excited. And then eventually at the Winter Awards, it was also weird knowing that I was within months away and we had already seen the opening. And now, uh, here we are in 2025. Everything is just everything has just been compiled together, you know? So wait, really? Oh, okay. Wait, no. What agreement? I just realized this is weird because we're seeing like kind of 3D again. Like this is the first time we're seeing Dragon Ball in 3D. Ooh, that is weird. Yeah. Oh, Dragon Ball in 3D. Oh, seeing any other character in 3D is just weird. Who's it? Oh, it's just X. No? Okay, we get to finally see main character activities from X. A respectable man, still taking the transit. He's reminiscing over his dead homie. Oh, that's actually sad. Damn, that's crazy, bro. If only you were a little faster. Oh, Ahu? Seeing Ahu okay, yeah. Yo, are we gonna see Lucky Cyan? That's crazy. Yo, what is this? Why is Ahu becoming an op? Mm, okay. Oh, copyright. Oh, copyright. What a fire song. Oh, wait, I just realized the audio's been off. Okay, hold up. Yeah, why is Ahu an op, bro? What is this? Hold up, let me just see something real quick. I just want to make sure this works. Okay. It's so peak. Yes, it is, Michael. It is peak. Oh, no, not Shadow Slave. I don't fucking care about Shadow Slave. I'm talking about 2B Hero X. Maybe if you found someone who cared. No. But Loki, bro, what is this? What is this? Like, Why does he even care about being X? That's my only question. Why does he even care whether or not he's X or not? He doesn't seem like the type that would care. Oh, that does weird things. Oh, first time seeing you in 3D. No? What's that thing? What are all these heroes, bro? Like, this is actually just a jumping for what? Who, like, not even like, it would have been more interesting if they tried to get someone else from the commission besides Ahu. Is that Esol? But like budget. Someone that could actually really. I literally never heard of this dude till now. He's such an impressive top 10 member. Jesus. I'm like noticing it, but the amount of times the camera just moves around is kind of insane. Like for like a 2D space, it is kind of crazy how much they are moving the camera around. Okay. Well, that just killed them. Who's just a sidekick now? Guys, there's X Solo Gear 5. I just thought about that right now. There's X Solo Gear 5. In all its Looney Tune fashion, does it Solo Gear 5? Kill X? Bro. Why does Brock look so serious? Like, is no one gonna find, like, what happens if people just see this? Like, they just see X's being attacked for some reason among all these heroes. Wouldn't it backfire on them? Like, wouldn't their rankings drop if someone saw these people targeting X for some reason? And why target Ahu? Like, what did he do? Okay, he can just do that. Oh, how did they get out of the wall? Time to uncover the truth. Persona 4, ah shit. Like, nah. I do think visual presentation, this is probably the best episode already, just with like how dynamic it is. Like in terms of the 2D realm, Easel definitely had a very good episode. With like or like the battle of two Easels. That was probably interesting. I just think like this is the most unique because it definitely falls between the. I think I just accidentally pressed a button that I should not have pressed. Okay. Zero. All guys fear. Low key, some of this talk about like fear kind of reminds me of like hope versus despair in Danganronpa. Is that a crazy thing to say? Or am I just like brain rotted from seeing it in the Nintendo Direct? He can just do this? No, no, I was just so full. Like, this is just so crazy to me. I just didn't even process that people were speaking. Every time I look at that statue, I just get reminded of when I just get reminded of when Lin Ling just ruined the entire thing. Or not him, but like no, it was that other girl. Are they gonna talk about Boa's ass winning for like a single year and getting ahead of herself? How old is that dude? Oh, what does that mean? Zero never disappeared. Nice. What is this montage? Just a little recap of everything going on. No 3D Cyan, no 3D Queen, Johnny's Ghostblade, none of that. Okay. No Lully, right? Lully exists. Oh my god, it was all part of the plan, guys. Now that the tournament. Oh my god, this is where the season's ending. Are you serious? That's awful. That's awful. Okay, give us the montage. Give us the montage. Link. Oh, they. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, okay. I did not need to see this, but okay. Loli looks fine. The Johnnies. Okay. Ghostblade. Dragon Boy. What about Queen? Oh, oh, YouTube copyrighted. Copyright. Hold up. I have to fix this shit now. Yes, it, bro. Yeah. Hold up. I have to. Oh, damn. That sucks. That sucks. Well, guys, I got. Wait, hold on. No, no, no. I have to actually go live again. I got copyrighted. Hasn't happened since the Rent a Girlfriend video, guys. This is kind of awful. Nah, it's a good thing Twitch is a little more lenient, so the video should be saved. That sucks. I'm gonna probably just like look at the rest of this and give my live reaction as if like the audio is still there. I just realized the song is still playing. All right, Queen looks all right. Yeah. There's still like 3 minutes left of the episode, so I'm just gonna try to talk as much as I can. There's a minute left to the tournament. So this is what they meant by the popularity polls are going to affect it. So that means, oh my god, I see Nice. I just saw Nice. Why? His skin looks like it's like cracked and shit. So how is this? So that means Lucky Cyan is going to do well in like the tournament then. That's probably like, okay, I don't think that's actually Nice. It's probably like some replica or something. It's probably just not the real him. I don't know. Is X gonna go to work or something? Is that what is he gonna do? No. Okay. Oh, and then this is where the bro. I cannot believe Lucky Science in the top two, bro. In the top three, like, bro. I'll never be a Science supporter. I'm sorry. I cannot ever be a Science supporter. She's just not that. Oh, dude. I can't. I can't. She's just. She's not that interesting. and it boggles my mind that she's that high in the polls. Like, if she was, like, top 5, fair. Like, if she's top 5, whatever. It's the fact that she's top 3. Like, there are so many other characters we could be using for this, but no, we're using Lucky Cyan. Lucky Cyan is the top 3 best hero in 2B Hero X, and I'll never get it. I'll never get it. I'll never be the guy. Well, to say I wouldn't get it would be a lie because yes, idol. People eat that shit up for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the anime community. That's why we have Oshinoko as popular as it is. Don't care. I don't care for Lucky Cyan. So that's my take on it. Uh anyway, Demon Slayer is for however long the rest of the stream is, I'm going to be talking about my experience with Demon Slayer because I was lucky enough to be able to see it today in theaters. Also, wow, look, already got spoilers. I don't I think I think Nice isn't actually dead. I don't think he's actually dead. That looks like a crack or something. Like that doesn't even look like, oh, it's an injury. I think Nice is dead. They probably just did some weird configuring shit on his like body. Um, but Easel top 3 when I don't know what to tell you. There's no way that's gonna happen. But yeah. I'm going to go through how much what? 18 chapters? Oh my god, how am I just now looking at this shit? Oh my god. 18 chapters? Bro, it was 2.5 hours. Oh my god. What are you talking about, Quanti? I knew people were saying that it was like short, like it didn't cover that much, but that's crazy. Like that 2 hour, that's like an entire season right there for 12 chapters. I don't remember these chapters being long. I mean, it's probably because they spent a lot of time flashing the visuals of the Infinity Castle. I was gonna kind of go through this. Yeah, no, there was a lot more. They did all automatically off rip. They did kind of show all the different demon, all the different Hashira falling through this whole thing. There was definitely a lot more attention put onto it. Like, oh right, there was also some talks in the beginning. I would say this panel already was like within the first 10, like it was like the first 10 minutes of the movie. I'm not sure though. I think it was like around 10 minutes that this specific thing showed up. And then we got to see Tanjiro and Giyu, you know, doing their thing, except it's not. I'm now realizing now how boring the composition for Demon Slayer's manga is. Like, you don't understand how much the anime does for it. Like, it'll do like close-ups of like the swords and like the breathings and all the different like water effects. That's just not done in the manga. Yeah, this part was like focused on this was like probably the most comedic part of the movie. They did do a lot of like this reaction, like all these emotes. Yeah, serpent breathing. Everything here is just standard, honestly. Like I said, the main thing that probably makes all of these longer is how much emphasis they put on the environment. 'Cause, like, you okay, especially, like, when you look at the manga, you can see here that there's, like, nothing in the background because it focuses on all these things. That doesn't happen in the manga, or in the movie. There is so much emphasis put in the background, you have no idea, and I'll get to that once everything's done. Like, when I talk about what I like about everything. Uh, alright, Doma. Yeah, no, there like, already there's, again, more emphasis on, like, the environment. Oh, yeah, this is, like, the flashback shit. I'm not gonna lie with you. Doma the Doma and Shinobu fight had such weird pacing. Oh my god, I didn't even realize, yeah, no, my camera is not facing the right way. I must have knocked it over at some point. It's my bad. Uh I got so invested in this. Yeah, I would say that out of all the fights, I don't wanna say the weakest. I would say that this had very like, I heard people say going into the movie, there were, like, high highs and very low lows. I feel like I wouldn't necessarily say that like, I could see what they're talking about with the, like, the large amount of flashbacks, but I feel like it was only really a problem in the Shinobu and Doma oh my god, Doma fight, because there was a lot of times where the fight would come to a pause because there was, like, a new flashback, especially from Shinobu's part. I'm pretty sure there was, like, 3 different flashbacks, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, this one, they did change. Okay, they did okay. So there is something already different. This girl right here who's, like, dead on the floor, that's not how that happened. So in the movie, she was still alive. In the movie, she was still alive, but then Doma was doing, like, his ice attacks, and he was doing, like, a spin, and Shinobu was able to save this person. So the way it went is that Shinobu saved this person for, like, a second, and then she ended up still getting slashed. So in that, like unless I missed it, which I'm pretty sure I didn't. Oh, wait, no, yeah, I'm just an idiot. Yeah, no. They did show it, I just skipped it. Yeah, no, oh my god, you don't understand. Like, I'm seeing it now, but the movie did so much more with Infinity Castle than the manga did. Like, this just, like, looks like a simple slash you would see, but in Infinity Castle, it was, like, complete ice effects, and you could see it. Like, you can't even tell what effect this is supposed to be, really. Hold up, my cousin's texting me. Okay. But yeah, no. I'll say this right now. The best part about the Demon Slayer movie is its backgrounds. Holy shit, the backgrounds were amazing. Like, you don't understand. I think that I could you could call me crazy, but I think that out of all the animes I've seen, Demon Slayer has the most attention to detail on its backgrounds, and Infinity Castle has demonstrated that so much. Like, they were flexing that shit every single chance they got, they were flexing the Infinity Castle. All the different angles, all the different things, and then, like, Doma, like, the entirety of, like, this area right here with Doma, there was, like, so much emphasis on the water, the flowers, Doma's, like, ice attacks, like, everything just played together, and, like, Demon Slayer, the reason why it looks so pretty is because of the compositing team. At least that's what I think the table is, right? The conclusion's not happening till 2029. It is not 2027, it is till 2029, I'm pretty sure. But also yeah, uh, like, I think that's genuinely what gives I think that's what gives Demon Slayer its charm. It's the background. It's not like, you don't even think about it, but it is truly the background that do a lot more, like, of the heavy lifting than you think to make Demon Slayer look pretty. Because then the way that the characters blend in with it gives it, like, a certain feel when you're watching it that, like, the manga can't replicate, and it's just because you don't like, when you look at everything here, you just don't see that. So that means like 6 hours. I mean, 6 chapters were split into like 40 minutes, I think. That's actually kind of insane, I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to see if there's anything that was different. They did not have no, they did not have this panel at all. This was not in the movie. I forgot about that. Like, the way they showed it was that these people were, like, kneeling like, they were bowing down, and then they were just turned into skeletons. The entire panel was actually, maybe no, I think this was in the movie, but yeah, there was definitely a lot more extended fighting in this, like, in this intermission. Rip Sonova. Yeah, flashback. Yeah. This was definite like, okay. No, this entire section, this entire, like, 3 pages was its own, like, 3 minutes. That like, they definitely went around the arena a lot more than this. Like, there was even additional shots like Shinobu doing, like, Spider-Man type shit. Like, no, that was probably one reason this went on for so long. A bunch of Japanese words I don't understand. I feel like the pacing for this makes a lot more sense within the context of the manga, but, like, if you're watching the movie and you're just seeing, like, flashbacks, it just messes with the pacing. It ruins it's, like, weird to the binging experience, you know? I think they cut it around here. No, 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 they didn't. Yeah, no. So that the Delma and Shinobu fight was pretty faithful to the movie. And then yeah, Rip Shinobu, all this shit talking. I think yeah, no, I was very surprised when I saw how long the movie was because I also knew how short this fight was. Try to see if I can find like any significant difference between this and yeah, no, this no, no, it's always the backgrounds. This was completely different. Like the angle was different because they were like and it actual they were in the palace with like the trees and they were talking shit and then this one was at the actual house. This the ang like they did an entire demonstration of this and then they put his body in the middle right here and like the coins were still falling out. Oh my whoa. Yeah, I know. I do remember this fight being short. I don't remember it being that short. Hold up. That's crazy. Yeah, no, like 2, 3 chapters for an entire fight. I would say okay. I do think out of all the fights, I didn't really care to like, I feel like story-wise and thematically, this was probably a little bit better than Doma and Shinobu, but, like, in the movie with, like, how much they were going insane for that fight and with, like, Shinobu versus Doma, I have to say because of the movie, it just slightly edges out this one, but this does so much for Zenitsu's character, and I think that, like, honestly, going forward into, like, the next 3 fights we haven't even gotten to Akaza yet, but going into the next 3 fights, I think that it is going to be hard for the next 2 movies to top this one because I genuinely viewed these 3 fights as, like, the peak of Demon Slayer. Like, the only like, I really liked Mugen Train, don't get me wrong, but I always knew that once we got to Infinity Castle, these 3 fights were going to be the peak of Demon Slayer. Like, this is when I got the most invested into the series, and when I was, like, going so hard and binging it that it made me go through Infinity Castle so fast when I read it in the manga. So, yeah, no, I have a hard time, like, thinking that there is a chance that the next 2 movies are even gonna top this. This had a lot more, like, screen time. Over like, yeah, you're probably gonna hear me say that a lot with the backgrounds. Then, yeah, the Akaza fight. Nothing out of the ordinary. I think for the most part, everything is going to be a pretty faithful adaptation. Not that I think they would need to change anything, because honestly, the Akaza fight was really good in the manga. So anything they could improve on was different camera angles with the fights. I do have to say, I think that I do really like Demon Slayer's character design. Didn't know. Alright, yeah. No, they didn't. Yeah, to be honest with you, 17 chapters, that's like actually, I feel like that is about 2-ish. That would take me about 2-ish hours. But these are Demon Slayer chapters. A lot of them are just like shorter on the dialogue. So maybe not. Maybe this would take me like an hour and a half to read. Definitely not 2.5. Definitely not 2.5. That's for sure. Went too far. Wow. The bear does not like I promise you the bear looks a lot more menacing in the movie. Yeah, no, they were also popping off right over there. 2016. This is like when did Mugen Train end? I guess that means like 2018 when the first. I thought there was like a little more changes from the manga, but I guess it was just my memory failing me because I do have to say I did end up reading this all the way back in like 2021. It's been like 4 years, probably like exactly 4. Actually, probably longer. a little longer than 4 years since I've read these chapters, so a lot of it does kinda leave my mind. So, I was kind of going into the movie with a bit of refresher on everything that happened. Also, I don't think this is how it went down. Oh, yeah. Wait, no, then, yeah, this is just, like, all Akaza's backstory, which I highly doubt anything like, about it changed. You know, I think Akaza definitely had the most enticing backstory. I think Doma's is just very interesting, mainly because of his psychology. Like, I feel like I use that word too often, but it is just like the psyche of um Doma that's so interesting to me that makes him like my favorite character in Demon Slayer. Akaza definitely has like the high like I can understand why Akaza did what he did. I'm not gonna lie with you. If I was him and I was in this situation, I'd also crash out. They did actually show him, like, walking into the house of these people, the I feel with the manga, there's a lot more cuts onto certain things that they skip, so that's why it feels like it's so long, you know? Dropped his sword. Okay, I thought I remembered this a little different. So, the way I remembered it was like this: I thought Akaza jumped from a very high spot and, like, self-destructed. I thought that's what this was all those years ago. So the movie made it a lot more clear that it was him punching himself rather than, like, whatever he did before. Rip Akaza. Oh, someone took a picture of the people already posting pictures in the movie, bro, that's crazy. Yes, this is gonna be the start of the next movie, the Doma. Okay. I have to show you guys something. I did take some recordings, you know, like, you photo don't get on my ass. But I did take some recordings of uh, hold up. No, this one wasn't anything crazy. I took, like, some videos of the fight, like, some of the movie. I obviously didn't wanna record too much because I do still think that people should, like, watch it if they can, and you could probably if anything, you could just find a recording on the internet somewhere. Uh, I think what I mainly wanna show off is how much they just showed off the backgrounds and stuff because it was a lot. And this is what I and you'll see what I mean if I can find it. Yeah, no, so much emphasis was put onto, like, the actual Infinity Castle, it was insane. Like, hold up, I'm trying to, like, zoom in, like, I don't know if that's clear or not, if it's blurry. Let me actually, like, go into OBS to make sure that it's oh my god, hold on. Like, let me try to get it into focus. You can kinda see it, but, like, dude, like, every single shot, it was always, like, flexing off the Infinity Castle. Any chance it got, it was insane. And even with, like, I wish I got on recording, but, like, with Doma's the entire environment around Doma, like, everything about it was just insane. Now, as for my actual thoughts on the movie, let's see how long I can drag this out. So, first off, starting off with the context of everything that is going on. I don't know how people feel about the fact that it's going to be split into trilogies rather than watching it. I feel like it does make it a bit harder for people to that like just want to kind of watch watch it episodically rather than a full-on movie because a trilogy is a lot more of a commitment. And of course, Ufotable is gonna want people to do it in a movie setting because it like lowers the chances of piracy and makes them more money. So, it's I can see why, and it's not just Demon Slayer either. A lot of movies are transitioning or a lot of animes are transitioning into movies. In fact, when I was in the theater, there was 2 movies that were being promoted. One was obviously Chainsaw Man, which is being made by MAPPA, and the other one that's being made by MAPPA is Jujutsu Kaisen, where it's going to showcase all of the Shibuya incident as well as the start of season 3 at the Culling Games. And I just find it very interesting that ever since Mugen Train, a lot of movies or a lot of animes have done this with transitioning into full length feature films rather than focusing on like the episode count. I think it does help with the pacing a lot more because you don't have to worry about like cutting in certain things, but it is kind of being overused. And it is only gonna work for so long before people are just like, ah, I'll just wait. I'll just wait for the episodes to come out. And I feel like that's already happening, because like Jujutsu Kaisen is the biggest. Like, oh my god, Jujutsu Kaisen. It is there's something, how can it be that people could actually pay for Hidden Inventory Arc being a movie? That to me, that's just absurd. You can watch it anywhere, and I don't think a change is worth paying that much money when you already like okay, if you pay a subscription, I don't know why you're spending money on that. If you don't, maybe like if you're willing to make an exception, like, ah, yes, I'll watch it. Fine, maybe. Uh But with, like, the Shibuya incident, it's just no, it's awful. If you wanna support the creator, like, the animators and all that other stuff because they're, like, fucking slaves, then yeah, fair enough. But it's just weird. With Demon Slayer, I like Infinity Castle, I think about it like, does it really have to be a trilogy? Because like, the way I thought about it was Mugen Train was justifiable as being a movie because it was a really short arc, and it wouldn't have worked well as a season because we already had I mean, even they did end up doing that later on, but it still felt weird because then there was also, like, a 2-week delay for, was it Entertainment District arc. So I could see the justification for Mugen Train being a movie because realistically, even with new things they added, it was only like 7 episodes. Hidden the training arc could have been its own movie, but like at the same time, who is gonna pay to watch that shit? Like, even though I think it's one of the better seasons of Demon Slayer, I'm not gonna pay for that shit. Like, be so for real. Like, that's 7 episodes for a movie? No. As for What was it? Oh, I just realized because I haven't been looking at I forgot my chat was disconnected. I don't know if anyone's been typing. Not no, okay. What else? So yeah, that's my stance on the movie. I think it's a little strange to have it as movies because it's clearly just a cash grab and a way to try and like build on Demon Slayer's popularity, but it's also like not the most offensive thing, honestly. Because like it's not like it's a mediocre product. Like animation wise, this was understandably it was understandable why they made this into a movie. I'll give them that. It was understandable why this was a movie because of all the effort that was put in. Uh like as I said with the Infinity Castle and all the detail, like that everything about it was insane. Um Now probably the most mediocre part was probably the stories. Um this is the peak of Demon Slayer, but even then I don't know if I would say that it's like phenomenal, you know? It's good. It's pretty good. Now I don't want to come off as an elitist when I say that. I think for me, what kind of doesn't make it so interesting is that the way that Demon Slayer's formula is, it kind of goes, hey, here's a villain that's introduced. You fight them for a little bit, and then you get each other's backstories, and it builds on the character. But at the same time, Demon Slayer was just a relatively short story. The only reason Zenitsu's probably is better than Doma, like if we were like basing it off the manga and like pure storytelling wise, Zenitsu's probably was the like the better paced fight because it was like a good mix between the two, and it really built up Zenitsu's character, and it shows why he's probably the like one of the most interesting characters in Demon Slayer, and it's understandable why Alex Lee would go out of his way to defend him, uh, because of everything Zenitsu goes through in the manga. So I think that I will get like give its props. Uh, I don't know. It's just when you translate flashbacks from a manga into an anime, especially when it's something like Demon Slayer, where a lot of the fight, because like in the manga, it's a balance of like, okay, the fights were never really like obviously they're a big focus, but you know, you're not reading Demon Slayer manga for the amazing drawings. So it's like if you see a flashback, that's kind of what you're focusing on. But in the movie, when you see all the amazing things and then it gets paused by a flashback, it's completely different. Like you're watching it and you're like, oh, you know, I think with Shinobu and Doma, it was just like it felt like every 2 seconds. It felt like every 2 seconds it was like a new Shinobu flashback. You know, it threw off the pacing a little bit because like you could tell that it was like the one time where you could tell, hey, maybe this could like this is what it's like if it was an episode of like an anime, and it would like make a lot more sense. It would have been repetitive as shit either way, but uh I don't know. Cause to me, I think of Doma and Shinobu, and I think these are like some of my favorite characters, and yet I don't feel like I'm blown away, you know? That's kinda how I felt when I first read the manga, and I don't think my opinion is going to change that way, when it comes to the movie's adaptation of it. But Doma, like I said, Doma is probably the most interesting character. Next up is I don't remember him doing this. Oh, right, because it's chapter 58. I was about to say, when did he do this? Whoopsie. Let's go to 46. I think that's when this one started. Oh no, I was a little off. Yeah. In terms of pacing, okay. In terms of pacing, this was probably the best paced fight, but it also doesn't mean it's the most spectacular. I mean, that could be like the higher standards talking because again, this was a Demon Slayer movie. So take that criticism as you will. But it did kind of feel simple with the way it handled everything, where they literally just exchanged blows 3 times. It looked like Zenitsu was gonna lose, and then he out of nowhere, like just boom. It was probably actually, I don't know if I would say this is the best pace. It was the fastest paced one. It was the fastest paced one. The flashbacks didn't like make it overbearing because these actually mattered to both the characters. You know, I think that's probably what Shinobu's fight was missing was that there, although there was an inherent connection to Doma, it wasn't played on enough. It felt like there was like two separate people just taking turns telling a backstory, if that makes sense. But yeah, no. Uh I think it makes sense that Zenitsu pulls out a new form, but it also does kind of feel like an ass pull. It doesn't feel rewarding because okay, it's they ended up fixing that problem in the anime a little bit by getting all the characters to go through the training. But even then, that's probably the biggest issue with this is that you don't see these characters go through all the hard work. Like you just kind of know that they're good, and it's like now we're finding out. And I thought that like for a little bit it was interesting with Rengoku and then Tengen, and then they repeated that with Muichiro and Mitsuri, and then it got repetitive. They knew it was getting repetitive, and then we had the Infinity Castle, all those things. You know, like it didn't feel like necessarily there was a big revelation that happened with these characters. It was just like, oh, they got into their big fights, they're developed, and then they die. Like every single character, every single Hashira, besides like Giyu, ends up fucking dying. And it's just kind of disappointing to watch when you're like, and it feels so weird because when you're watching, you're like, I don't really want to complain about this because this is like an amazing product. A lot of people put a lot of work into it. It is, and it's not even like bad. It's just the story where you think like, ah, it feels like there could have been more here, you know? If you don't care that much about this, then or like that point of the story or like any of the backstories, like if you specifically care about the fighting, then everything about this is going to be for you. You're gonna love the movie. But even if you're just like a hardcore anime enjoyer, like you enjoy all the animation intricacies, all the different details that are put into the backgrounds, you're also gonna love Demon Slayer, and that's where the main appeal of everything comes in. You know, that was the same with like Akaza. Like every move he did was so a lot more flashy. It was super flashy every time with the destruction techniques. Overall, like this was the Akaza versus Tanjiro was the highlight of the fight though. Everyone knows, even Ufotable knew it, which is why so much effort. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if the main reason most of the production was like as long as it was just for the Akaza versus Tanjiro fight. What time is it? It's already 10? What the hell? Why does it say on Twitch it's only been an hour and 14 minutes? Oh, right, because I didn't end up recording the first 8 minutes of stream. Whoopsie. But yeah. Um Tanjiro versus Giyu, like I said, is probably the highlight of the fight. There was like when they were jumping Akaza, there were so many different angles they did. It was kind of like how I was reacting with To Be Hero X because I was also surprised. But yeah, no, this is probably one of the best fights in the entire, if not the best fight in the anime so far. Like, they had fun with it. They had fun with it. I don't know if that's true or not, if they had fun making it, but they did. They put a lot of effort into it. It was insane. I was literally low key getting chills. Honestly, no. Like every single time, and I know I've been glazing the backgrounds, but I have to say it again. Every single time they did a shot of the Infinity Castle, I got chills, bro. Chills every single time. It was incredible. Like, I don't think I've ever been amazed. Oh my god, how could I forget? There was an entire section where there was an entirely new section with Giyu and Tanjiro where they were like just running, and it was like an entirely new 1v1 between Akaza and Giyu. And hold up, let me see. Like, I just want to make sure that I'm not making that up. And it was actually here, but I'm pretty sure there was like an entirely new section and like went crazy. I can't even describe it. Like new platforms and everything, like the Infinity Castle. Then there was like a 1v1 with Akaza and Giyu where they were just talking about it, and where like Akaza was doing that "What's your name" type thing, and oh yeah, no, this fight was like there was an entirely new section added. I don't know how I forgot to mention that. I don't like because I remember watching it, I was just like amazed. Hello, Kaylee. Yeah, no, like it was insane. It was insane how much everything just like I don't know. I don't know. Like every new detail that was added to this movie was incredible. That's all I can say. It was yeah, no, exactly. Like the way that Giyu got launched, because like for example, right? You could see Giyu getting launched. You could see Giyu getting launched at some point in time around here, or like deflecting it. This is so much more different than when you're watching it in the anime. And I feel like that's probably this manga's biggest weakness is that it's just it's it's very boring with the way it shows its fights, you know? And you can tell when you watch the anime with like all the different angles they do. Like everything is so exaggerated. It's so much more different than just like seeing like these lines here to indicate the illusion of movement. But in the anime, it's just so much different. It's so much different. You can't even explain it. Like it's so different that you can't even describe it. Like you have to it's one of those things where you have to be there to see it. But yeah, no. So then that means that this entirety of like chapter 50 was a little different because they added an entirely new section. Yeah. But yeah, nah. Kaylee, if you don't mind me asking, are you like in anime only? Like, have you only seen this movie, or do you know anything of, like the future events of the manga? I just want to make sure, just in case I don't accidentally spoil anything, because I do want to be careful with like anything I do say, and I don't want to be the reason someone gets spoiled in the future. Even though I did low key kind of spoil something earlier, but that's not important. Yeah. I think yeah, no. Akaza it's hard for me to decide what's better between Shinobu versus Domu versus what is his name? The Upper Moon Six in Zenitsu. I don't remember what his name is because I think that Zenitsu's fight had better thematic, like it was better thematically and just overall better writing. But in the movie, Shinobu's fight was so much like more entertaining to watch. So, because to me, it's just like Akaza and Tanjiro. Yeah, obviously, this was the highlight of the movie. Like this was the best fight. It was like the combination of the previous two fights, and you can tell that the manga really took his time with this. Actually, I don't even know if it's a him. There's just so much. This is off topic, but it's so weird that like the gender of the mangaka for Demon Slayer is iffy. I'm pretty sure it's a guy. Like I know a lot of people say it's a girl, but I'm pretty sure it's a guy. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I think that's about everything that I need to cover for the movie. My final thoughts are I wouldn't say because to me, like a 10 is something that essentially revolutionizes the industry in some way, shape, or form, or like something that kind of changed the way I would like it changes a perspective that I have on the way I look at media, or just like an interesting take. And writing wise, Demon Slayer is definitely not that. That is definitely its biggest weakness is that the actual source material in terms of writing is not that interesting. Like it has its moments, but it's not your go to. I would feel. Um, but damn, everything else like backgrounds is the backgrounds are just phenomenal. Like there's no other word. It's just phenomenal. Uh, I think that sometimes it did kind of feel like whiplash going through all these different stories, which is why like episodically it would be more interesting. And that's why I'm kind of worried for the next two movies because I have a strong feeling like the first movie is going to be the strongest entry. So I don't know. Uh, if I were to give it a number, I would say like an 8-4. Like 8-4. Because I feel like even like 8-5, I'm a little shaky on. 8-4 is definitely like a lot more comfortable. Because, like I said, if the story isn't that interesting for the majority of the movie, it's going to be difficult to come back to it, you know? And there are a lot of times, there's like a lot of downtime, admittedly. There is a lot of downtimes for like a 2 hour and 30-minute movie. It's still a very solid product. Like I can't emphasize that enough. It is still a very good project. It's just I don't know if I consider it a favorite, you know, and I don't know if I would be rushing to rewatch. You know, I was glad to watch it the first time, you know, but yeah. Anyway, that's all for me. If you really like Demon Slayer, I hope that you loved this movie. I hope that it was everything you hope for, and I hope you look forward to the next two movies. And tomorrow I will be streaming with Boinga on Xenoblade. So if you have any other questions about anime, Demon Slayer, whatever, make sure to come back for the next stream, and I'll see you guys next time.